Welcome back, friends, to another reading for the collective. My name's Ross, and I pop on here every Tuesday and Thursday with these readings, feeling into, sensing into the energy of what's happening in the world and what might be happening for you. It's raining here today, and if it gets a little too rainy, we'll just have to close this window, but it's nice to have that kind of coming in here, and there's something very special about the slowness of the early morning rains and the peace that it brings to the day, at least for me. I hope that's the same for you. I hope this video finds you peaceful whenever it finds you. And like I like to say, I offer these not as fortune telling, but as storytelling, an opportunity to see the story that your soul is here to tell. And we dive a lot deeper into those when we work one on one. So if you're interested in that, you can find my link in the description below. But for now, if there is something that you've been sitting with or feeling with, something that you would like some elucidation on, then I invite you to tune into that sensation. And in a moment, what we'll do is take 3 deep breaths into that sensation or into that thought. And as we exhale, we can imagine that feeling, that sensation, that thought leaving your body, leaving your mind, and coming through the magical screen into these cards. So, 3 deep breaths, breathing in and out. 2 more times, breathing in and out. And last time, breathing in and out. Before we even begin, I'm seeing the invitation for self love or ego love. And I know the idea of killing the ego is quite popular in betterment. I won't even say it's strictly spiritual communities, but any kind of self improvement communities. And that's all well and good. It's a little too young for my taste, a little too killing for my taste. And why would you want to kill an illusion? I would offer the alternative to reparent your ego, to love your ego. A challenge, sure, but we have to have an ego while we're walking this 3D reality. There's also something about Pisces. You might be a Pisces or a water sign. I think something is going into Pisces. Might be Mars. You check that on your own. I know about. I like to say that you could fill 2 galaxies with what I don't know about astrology. But we're here for the tarot. So let's see what the tarot has to say for you about whatever it is. You want to come out? Well, look at this. Look at that. That didn't want to come out. We're going to keep that. Definitely. There's something that you might not be wanting to. There you are again. Well, this is good. There's something that you might not want to be looking at, but yeah, we'll call that a day for right now. Starting with this was present in. Oh wait, I was doing this kind of thing last time. Is that going to stay like that? No, doesn't matter. This came up. This card, the 8 of Swords, came up in the last reading. It came out today again. I did shuffle these. It came out reversed. So Boy, oh boy, it's already been a transformative week for you. You are stepping out of those self imposed limitations or other imposed limitations. You're removing the bandage. And it's this idea of like, shuffling. We said before that the character's legs aren't bound, but, the arms can't really move. There's this idea of a slowness here. And even with last week's, or I'm sorry, the last reading with the Knight of Cups, there is a slowness, a deliberateness there as well. So, chapeau to you for that. And don't misinterpret slowness or steadiness as stagnation. Unless you were looking at a plant growing through, what is that called? Time lapse photography, you would not see it growing. You would look at it maybe at the beginning of the month and then at the end of the month and see, oh, wow, look, something is sprouting. But that would be indistinguishable day by day, hour by hour, but it's still happening. Just because you're shuffling, just because you seem to be moving slower in comparison to everyone else, doesn't mean you're not moving. But this card, I'm very excited to see what it is because I'm getting the sense that because it didn't want to come out, it's something that you're unwilling to look at. So there might be something that you're still wearing the bandage about. So let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. And then I wonder what this card is. Wow, all in good time. All in good time. Ten of Pentacles reversed. This is an interesting card because it's definitely a card of abundance, what with all of these pentacles. This is also a card with these pentacles are arranged in what's called the Tree of Life spread. It is a it's a spread that uses every card in the deck, and the first time I did it, it was a 4-hour reading. Of course, I was referencing my book and talking with the querent about what it was revealing and getting their insights and everything. But it is a beautiful reading, and if you're curious about having one of those read for you, we can definitely do that. I've been meaning to do a reading for myself about that, so I'll take this as a nudge. Uh, so, the Tree of Life might be relevant for you in tarot or also in mythology. This is the Mythology Studio, after all, and we like to talk about all things mythological. Not so much the idea of myths as lies or untruths, but myths as the stories which show us the way to the greater within. I like that. Might write that down. Uh, but the Tree of Life pops up in multiple different myths, and it'll be interesting to see if this card is the Hanged Man, because it can be said that that character is hanging themselves to the Tree of Life or the World Tree, the tree that Odin hung himself from. But this was in reverse. And I think there's a couple different ways to interpret this. It could be the simple fact that you're not seeing just how abundant you are. It might not be showing up in money yet, but it's coming. It is definitely coming. Confirmation burp on that. Ooh, everything got lost with that burp. So maybe it is just that. There is this idea when it's upright of this character outside, this old man who we can't really even see at first glance because of all the pentacles and how he kind of just blends into the surrounding. But the dogs are aware of him, and this little child is aware of him as well. The people are just going about their day, doing their thing, completely unaware of him. And that might be how you felt recently, dear viewer. You might have felt like you've been left outside, excluded, not welcomed in. But with this reversed, it feels like that is coming, that you are about to be welcomed in, maybe today, maybe this week. Uh, but also the same kind of idea as not seeing how abundant you are, not seeing how welcomed you already are. All right, maybe it's not in the high society clubs that you wish it were, or anything like that. Uh, or maybe it's the fact that all of your friends have prior engagements, and so no one can hang out with you or whatever. So you have to hang out with yourself, so to speak. Uh, Despite all of that, despite whatever you are feeling, it's also giving this idea that you are so connected in spirit with your team, with your guides, and you know this, you're knowing this more and more, but this is just kind of that reminder, that confirmation that you can look at that connection as a legitimate connection as well. And I know, especially on mornings the with the rain falling like it is, there can be that tendency to miss having someone to hold as the sky drops its rain. And that is a sadness, and I hold you with tenderness if that's something that you're experiencing. But you are connected. And like I've said in a previous reading, you can set the intention for your pillow to be the divine friend, the beloved friend, the Christ consciousness, and let that hold you, and allow yourself to hold that and feel that holding there. So that's always available to you. And since let's see. This feels like where you're going or what you're being welcomed into. Yeah, because we've got the shuffling here, the moving out of this self-imposed limitation, this invitation in to society or into the group where you belong. This might be where you're going. All these reversals today. The lovers, of course, it is romance and connection and partnership. It's also the idea of choice. And with it reversed, let me just sit with this for a second. Hmm. Yeah, it's like don't let yourself be so analytical when it comes to making this choice. It could be between two people in a relationship. That's an easy way of looking at it. It could be between where you're living. It could be between the work you're doing, the clients you're taking. Any choice, any choice that you're making, try not to be too in your head about it, or even try not to think too much about the monetary gains it will bring. Try instead to just allow your intuition to speak to you, whether that's a gut feeling or an inner knowing, something that comes to you without any kind of context, any kind of guesswork required. Just oh yeah, I am going to go here, or no, I'm not doing that. Get some more insight into the lovers, please, and what this means for the folks at home. What choice is it? Can we get some more about the choice that they have to make? Is it you? No, there's two here. Should we choose? Should we choose which card? Give me a second here. It's almost like the choice doesn't matter because the path that you're walking, what you're walking to, is only going to ever lead to heaven. However you define that, heaven on earth, peace, joy, all these things, and you can only ever walk away from that. It doesn't change the destination. It doesn't change the fact that heaven is guaranteed, peace is guaranteed. You can only choose to be concerned about making the wrong choice. Whew. Whew. Six of Cups reversed, one of my favorite cards, and Seven of Swords reversed. This is the time to allow all of the work you've done, the inner work, the work you've done with your inner child, to pour out onto you, to allow yourself to receive the blessings of what it is that you've been working on. This is suggesting that you're done having thoughts that don't serve that end goal, that don't serve the destination of heaven. So it's almost like, oh, I have a thought between, you know, actually, this is a good example. I had a choice to make recently between going out to an open mic or staying in, and I felt into my human design, and for generators and manifesting generators like myself, there are three questions, 1717 as I'm saying this. There are three questions to ask yourself. Will this leave me feeling satisfied? Do I have the energy for this? Will this make me feel more like myself? And I have learned that the second question, or the question about do I have the energy for this, trumps, well, don't like using that word, the other two, questions, because I've gone out to events that I did not have the energy for, that in other circumstances would have made me feel more like myself and would have left me feeling satisfied, but because I did not have the energy for it, I was drained and depleted and was not shining and as vibrant as I normally am or can be. And so I had this choice between going to this open mic and reading poetry or staying home and being naked. And I chose to stay home and be naked because while I knew that reading the poetry at the open mic would make me feel more like myself and leave me feeling satisfied, I did not have the energy for it. And I went to bed, had a good time, and was like instantly asleep. All that to say is you're now more discerning about the thoughts that lead to peace, lead to heaven, and you're choosing those instead of the ones that keep you trapped in the ego or trapped in judgment, trapped in comparison. You are feeling the topsy-turviness of everything. So remember to be kind with yourself. Like, there's a lot that you're reviewing and it's not even retrograde yet. I think that's coming at the end of June or July. Again, check your sources for the astrology. And so Hafiz, we missed you last time. Finish us up. What's a different way of looking at this? What did I miss? What's something that the folks need to hear? What's an affirmation or confirmation that they are making the right choices, that the revision is a part of creation? That's a good one too. And that was something else that I came to recently, the idea that revision is inherent in creation, like how, how big insects used to be. Like, that's wild. And now they're super tiny. That's revision. That doesn't mean that the large insects were bad or wrong. Terrifying, sure. But it doesn't mean they're bad or wrong. And it doesn't mean that the tiny insects are good or right. It is just the way of things, the constant shifting, the constant evolving, the world turning. And you are certainly turned upside down, looking at things in a different way. And I think we might have to forego Hafiz today. There we go. And it's the first card. Engage trust, number 1. Pretty purple butterfly. Butterflies might be significant. The color purple might be significant. That crown chakra. Engage trust. Love loves what it loves because of trust. We cannot know what the future holds, nor are we ever guaranteed safety or security. So, we must trust what is unseen and allow our wellness to rest in what greater has in store for us. At any given moment, everything is working out for you. It's not happening to you, but for you. This is the trust that allows the wings of psyche to unfurl. Yeah, and even, going back to this, make sure you're loving yourself before you're loving another. I know that the two can happen simultaneously, but people come and go. Yourself has been with you throughout all these iterations and will continue to be with you until you return to source. Let that be your primary love. Let that be your primary relationship. Nurture that, and everything else will fall into place. And so we'll leave it there today. And I just want to thank you for tuning in for another reading for the collective. Like I said, I post these every Tuesday and Thursday. And if you would like to dive deeper into one of your own readings, you can find my link down below. But until we meet again, my friend, I wish you nothing but peace, love, and happiness from this day forward. Take care.